Okay, thank you, Lydia. I want you to tell me your name and where you're joining us from. Duru from France, it's good to see you guys. Akina from US. Oh, it's Shola. Oh, okay. It's nice to meet you. Um, Elfrida, I think, from wherever that is. It's good to see you guys. Welcome to today's session. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, introduce myself, introduce what we're here to do, and of course, get into the main session. So please let me know if you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please drop a one in the chat. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so today we are going to be speaking on we're going to be having a very amazing session on why tech recruiters favor hands-on skills over certifications. This is a debate that has been going on for a very long time now. And today we are going to be, speaking extensively on why you would see tech recruiters picking people who have hands-on skills over people who just have certifications to show for what they can do. All right, that's what we're here to talk about today. It's a Tenalytics Tech Series Masterclass. And who exactly, or what exactly is Tenalytics about? We are a leading educational technology company focused on providing experiential learning, specialized training in technology skills, and also delivering comprehensive data consulting services. And with over 4 years of experience building tech talents across the world, we personally have helped over 2,000 people transition from the classroom to their very first job in tech across the UK, the US, Canada, Europe, Asia, Africa, and so on and so forth, Antarctica, Atlantic, and so on and so forth. And we are committed to making the technology space more accessible through premium experiential learning, right? We've seen the barrier, we've seen how difficult it is for people of the global community to transition into tech, and that's why we've come with a leveled playing ground to provide experiential training in data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, Scrum Master, cybersecurity, and AI engineering. And we have instructors from leading global community companies, right? Like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, McKinsey, Sahara. And these people come with a world of experience, they come with a world of knowledge, and they are very dedicated to delivering and engaging practical learning experience that ensures that every single person that they come across receives the maximum value from your investment in your future. So that is Tenalytics in short. You can check us out on LinkedIn at Tenalytics, on Instagram at Tenalytics, Twitter at Tenalytics, and of course our website at tenalytics.io. All right, that's who we are, and of course, we're going to be sharing so much more today. Okay, so meet your host for today. There's two of us. First off is Chukwemeka, who is the CEO of Tenalytics. Is a GRC expert with close to a decade experience in GRC and consulting. And as the CEO of Tenalytics, he has personally helped over 720 people transition from no tech skills, no tech background into landing their first jobs, their first role in tech. And Chukwemeka's experience spans across governance, risk and compliance in the banking sector. He's worked previously as the head of control for a fintech, as a data analyst for a fintech as well, as an hospitality consultant, and like I said, across various sectors: financial services, tech, capital markets, hospitality sectors, say no more, and so on and so forth. So you can connect with Chukwemeka at on LinkedIn at Chukwemeka Ikpa, then on Twitter at Emeka Eyes, and on Instagram at Ikpa Chicks. Then there's me, who is going to be, of course, speaking to you today about why again you should put hands-on skills over experience. I don't know why my screen is not. My name is Oluwadamlola, and I have close to 5 years of experience cutting across several areas within the data ecosystem, basically covering data analytics and business analysis. And I work here as a business data analyst here at Analytics. I have experience spanning across retail and supply chain as a data analyst, FMCG as a data business analyst, and of course the EdTech as a data analyst. And I have helped over 2,000 participants transition into tech. And of course, I'm always like advocating for more women to join tech and be a part of the global tech community. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn at Oluwadamlola Ajimobi, then on Twitter at Damlola FA, on Instagram at damlola.exo. I love to connect with everybody here. So what are we doing here today? Why exactly are we here? I keep on saying that this is a debate that has been going on for a very long time about why tech recruiters favor hands-on skills over certification. So we're going to be speaking extensively on the rise of skills-based hiring. Why companies do no longer care about if you have the certifications or not, and are all about going for people that can get the job done. So we're going to be speaking extensively on that. Secondly, we're going to be talking about understanding the in-demand tech career path. So it's one thing to want to transition into tech. It's another thing to transition into a tech role or tech skills or get tech skills that are actually in demand. Okay, so we're going to be speaking on choosing the best career path. Then thirdly, we're going to be looking at our upcoming cohort starting August 3rd, 2024, and how you can get started immediately. Bonus points, we'll look at our success stories, we'll talk about the growth internship, and also look at the early bird discounts that everybody on this call is going to be getting access to. All right, so if you're with me so far, can you drop your favorite emoji in the chat? If you're excited to get into it, I'd like for you to drop your favorite emoji in the chat. Let's go. Thank you, Ibrahim. Okay, so let's keep it. Right, Shola. All right, nice emoji. So now the major part of it, right? Why tech recruiters favor hands-on skills over certification. Number one, I'm going to be, doing this whole talk. I'm going to be basing this whole talk on two major points. Because it's not something that we need to drag on for too long. It's obvious, it's everywhere. Everybody knows that if you don't have the skills that are required to get the job done, then it does not matter if your certificate is from Harvard, it does not really matter. So two major points that we're going to be speaking on. One is the death of certification. If I may ask, how many of us here are doing something related to the certificates that we have? Say, okay, I want to believe we all went to school, got a degree or two. If you're doing something related to that, can you drop a yes in the chat? If you're not, can you drop a no? I just want to do a quick survey, all right? If you're doing something related to the certificate that you got in school, can you drop a yes? If you're not, can you drop a no? So I'm saying no, no, no. Okay, Yemi, yes. Titi, no. That's 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, 8-2, 9. Okay, so it's a lot of no, no, no. A big no, exactly. So the value of a traditional degree is fast declining. I can tell you for a fact that you see people that did not study anything close to accounting doing financial analytics, right? Nobody cares again about traditional degree. Nobody, wants to know if you studied accounting, you're doing financial analytics. Nobody wants to know if you have the certification or not. It has declined so much, so to the fact that you're checking job boards, and the certificates they even ask for like at the minimum, the barest of what they are looking for. So the value of a traditional degree is fast declining, and candidates who gains their skills based off of experiential learning are becoming a major force in the labor market. You'd see people, if you go to different job boards like LinkedIn, like Indeed, like Well Found, like Angel, you see people asking for, when they are listing their criteria for employment, you see things like skills in Excel, how to use Excel, how to use Power BI, how to use SQL, how to use this and that. And then maybe at the end of it, they then say, okay, degree in this and that. That's just to show that companies no longer value certification. It's sort of, let me just say, dead on arrival when it comes to certification. So people who are, gaining hands-on skills are people who are fast, are the major force in the labor market. And according to a study that was published in 2022 by the American Psychological Association, you'd see that there's a major saying there that a hire that is based on skills versus one that is based on education is 5 times more. Okay, so a hire that is based on skills versus one that is based on education is 5 times more likely to predict job performance. People are no longer, sorry, I'm trying to describe, okay. Right. Okay, so a year that is based on skills versus one that is based on education is 5 times more likely to predict job performance. You'd see, I don't know if anybody here did anything practical in school. If you ever got into the practical side, well, it means that you went to the right school. But for majority of us that went to school, for example, I studied geography, and you would think that I was in the field most of the time, doing the law of surveying and urban regional planning and so on and so forth. I can tell you for a fact that I never even stepped there, right? I don't have the skills based off of what I learned in school, right? And so if they ask me to come and do something related, come and, maybe practicalize something related to what I studied in school, I can't do it. And that's just one of the reasons why I decided not to even go with that line at all, right? And remember that in tech, it's hands-on skills over credentials. It's even more rampant now that people in tech are more hands-on. Nobody cares about certification. It's if you can do this, it's the portfolio that you have, it's the skills that you have, it is what you can, it's the value that you can provide for the company based off of the skills, based off of the hands-on skills that you have. All right. And then it's another thing that skills-based hiring are more loyal to their employers, and they have like a 9% lengthier tenure at the organizations compared with traditional hires. You'd see people with skills, people with the skills staying longer in companies than people with certificates. Because at the end of the day, they just keep upping and hopping with their certificates and not staying, not adding value to whatever company that they find themselves, right? So number one, I said debt of certification, and you can obviously read so much more on this on the bcg.com website, where they spoke extensively on the rise of skills-based hiring. So again, the number one reason why recruiters will choose somebody with the skills over somebody with the certification is the death of certification. Nobody cares about the certificate anymore. Nobody cares about if you have this certificate or that certificate. It is what you can do. It is the value that you can bring to the company. It is, the value that you can provide that actually matters. And how do you get this value? How do you provide this value? Based on your hands-on skills. Okay. We did a bit of looking around, right? Because we just wanted to buttress the point that companies no longer care about certificates. I know I said earlier that when you go to different job sites and you check their job listings and you see, you're looking at the requirements to get the job, right? You'd see, for example, this is a data analyst role on LinkedIn. I'm sure everybody here knows what LinkedIn is. It's an analyst role on LinkedIn. And just by opening it, you can see that they have it's a job, insight analyst in England, London, England. You can see they must have. They start with experience working with large volumes of data. Then they say proficiency in Power BI for data visualization and data and dashboard development. It then goes on to hands-on experience with SQL, excellent problem solving and analytical abilities, strong communication and collaboration skills, ability to thrive in a fast-paced, dynamic environment, experience with Azure. And then look at this, at the bottom of the food chain, we have the bachelor's degree, which again does not really matter, because at the end of the day, if you like meet 80%, if you can do number 1 to, I think that's 6 or 7, number 8 does not really matter. That's why it's at the bottom, right? So again, you can look at the desirable and you can see prior experience in retail industry, the strong programming skills, experience with other visualization tools, so on and so forth, right? So this just speaks to the fact that companies, again, do no longer care about the certificates that you hold, the certificates that you have. It is the skills that you've acquired. It is the skills that you can use to deliver value to the company that really matters. So again, the death of certification, dead on arrival. Second point here is the practical skills over theoretical knowledge. Practical skills over theoretical knowledge. Now, there's a difference between knowing how to do something. Like if I say, okay, come and analyze this data, there's a difference between knowing how to analyze it, and there's a, the other part of it where you just have the knowledge of how to analyze data, but you can't actually do it, right? So employees value candidates who can demonstrate their ability to solve real world problems. Companies today are looking to upscale, they're looking to do more with their company, they're looking to increase their revenue, looking to, increase their customer base and so on and so forth. And it is candidates that can demonstrate the ability to solve the problems that companies have. For example, your company has customer problem or they have customer acquisition problem. It is the candidates that can solve this problem that they are looking to hire, not somebody who has the theoretical knowledge. Okay, maybe this is what I learned in school, maybe we can apply it. They won't go for people like that. They'll go for candidates that can solve problems and adapt to new challenges. Hands-on experience often provides a practical understanding. When you know how to do with your you've learned, you know how to do it practically, it tends to attract more recruiters to you than you saying, I have this certification and this is what I learned from that learning, getting that certification. Is one thing to know how to be practical with your skills and also know how to solve problems, and it's another thing to know how to apply the things that you have learned. Okay, so candidates who are able to solve problems and provide practical understanding are more valuable to companies than candidates who have theoretical knowledge and theoretical knowledge that certifications might lack. And again, according to another publication by flexjob.com, you can also check that out online. We have it indicated here. Many leading companies like Google, say Amazon, Netflix, Tesla, IBM, Bank of America, Apple again, if you look at their employee data, like their employee database, right, you see that a lot of them have skills. You would even see people saying they did not go to school and they are, solving problems with Apple, working with companies like Netflix, working with companies like Google. They don't have any certifications, they don't have any degrees, they don't have any paper, on paper skills or whatever. What they have is the skills, the hands-on practical knowledge of how to use whatever they, can do to solve problems for these companies. So many leading companies have changed their mind about requiring degrees. Again, if you go to different job boards, you see the fact that a whole lot of them do not practically ask. They don't even put the certification at the top of the requirements anymore. What they have is knowledge of Python, knowledge of Excel, knowledge of SQL, how to use SQL to solve problems, how to quote, how to collect survey, how to do stakeholders analysis, and so on and so forth. So it's not just experience that employees say they value, right? Recruiters and hiring managers say that the candidate's potential is also more important, is the most important aspect of the application. What you can do. That's why you see a lot of recruiters doing a lot of tests, there's a lot of assessments. you're obviously, like, you can't even use what you learned with what you have in your certifications to pass an assessment. It is the skills that you have, it's the knowledge, the practical knowledge that you have that you can use to pass your assessment. So it's no longer about the experience, it's no longer about the certification, it's no longer about the stack of Google data analyst, IBM data analyst, what have you, as many as they are. It's no longer about that. It's now about your potential, your hands-on experience, and how you can apply your hands-on experience to solving problems within the company. All right. So again, you can check out this publication at FlexJob publications to just read more about it. Okay. All right. Now, so I've said 2 key points. The debt of certification, that is, companies, big companies, recruiters no longer care about certification. Then secondly, I said the fact that practical skills are much more valuable than theoretical skills. Another thing here is the fact that a lot of people did they get it wrong, right? For example, if you look at this illustration on my screen, you see the horse, right? From way back, it's always the cat, the us, right, pulling the cat, not the other way around. But because there's been like I don't know where the misconception, I don't know where the misinformation came from. You'd see people saying, oh, I want to get this certification, I want to do that certification, without actually having the practical knowledge or the practical skills. So you see people putting the cat before the horse. Now, based on what you can see in on my screen, right, do you think it's possible for this whole what have you that we have here to move forward? I want you guys to drop a yes if you think it's possible to move forward, and a no if you think it's impossible for this man and the horse to move forward based off of the fact that the cat is before the horse. Do you guys think it's possible? I need you guys to respond in the chat. Is it possible? Okay, Lina is saying it's possible. I'm not sure why, but again, it's impossible for the cat to move forward because obviously the horse should be the major force pulling the cat, right? But because it's at the back of the cat itself, with the cat at the front, it's impossible. Okay, so what you need to do is put hands-on skills before certifications. Certifications without skills and experience are basically worthless. That's what this old illustration is telling us. Your certification, your certificates, your degrees, without the skills, without the application of this knowledge, is absolutely worthless. Okay, so don't put what you want to do before how you need to do it. It is obviously like how you need to do it before what you want to do. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. So do not put the cat before the horse because it will not move. It's not like it will move slowly because there's nothing pushing it, there's nothing pulling, there's nothing attracting it to anything else. It's just going to be there, standing there. And that's basically for the same people that put certifications before hands-on skills. If you don't have the hands-on skills, you don't know how to do the practical aspect of something that you said that you have a certificate for, then it's worthless. It's worthless. There's no point to it, right? So certifications without skills or experience are absolutely worthless. Okay. Now, how exactly do you then showcase your so you've gained the skills, you've gained the experience. How then do you showcase this real world experience that you say that you have? It's by portfolios. Now, if you can see my screen, you see different portfolios displayed on my screen. Number one, this is for a data analyst, right? I'm just going to go ahead and actually share the portfolio of this person. So let me just, okay. I'm just going to open up my screen and share exactly. Oh, I don't think I'm sharing what I want to share. Just give me a minute exactly. Okay. All right. So this is the portfolio of a data analyst, right? You can see Victoria Uchemadu, data analyst portfolio. And this is how she projects her ability, the skills that she has gotten over time. as a data analyst to show to companies. This is how she's going to be showing it to companies, showing it to recruiters that she actually has the skills, the hands-on skills that she said she has a certificate for, right? So if I scroll down, you'd see different projects that she has worked on over time, different projects that she has worked on over time. I'm just going to click on one. For example, let's look at this deep care project, right? This is obviously a way for Victoria to say, oh, she has worked as a data analyst with a hospital or an hospital. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is how to show that she has worked with an hospital as a data analyst. This is a thorough analysis of an emergency room of an hospital, right? You can see, for example, Victoria wants to get a job. She's trying to apply to a job as a data analyst, right? If they say, okay, Victoria, what exactly have you worked on for you to be able to say you can work as a data analyst in this hospital? Number one is this project that she's going to be showcasing. This is the project that she has worked on, right? And you can see from her analysis, obviously, the number of patients plus, the average age 40 years, average wait time is 35 minutes. Just by showcasing this, recruiters from that hospital or the hospital management will be able to know, okay, she has experience working or analyzing HR hospital data, right? You can see that from the number of patients here, she's able to say, okay, from the general practice department, they have 1,800 patients. From orthopedics, they have 995 patients. From physiotherapy, and then for the ones that are not accounted for, she has like 5,400. From cardiology, she has, and so on and so forth. Then she's able to break down the number of patients by age and month. So how many patients did they get in January? How many patients did they get in February? How many they get in March? And so on and so forth. It goes on and on to the fact that she's able to also right? She's also able to split it down per hourly patient arrival. So on Sundays, when do we have more patients arriving at the hospital? Mondays, Tuesdays, down to Friday, each day of the week. Now, tell me as a recruiter, if you see somebody that has done something like this, would you not hire the person? I know for sure that I'm going to be hiring the person, right? And this is not just the only project that she's able to work on to show that, okay, she has experience working as a data analyst. This is another one, Redux Airline Flight Analysis using Excel. If Victoria is to maybe get a job or try to get a job as a data analyst with this new airline, I've forgotten the name, that is quite everywhere at the moment, just by showcasing that, oh, she has worked with this airline, Redux Airline company, right? She's able to showcase her skills and hands-on practical knowledge of working as a data analyst with an airline company, right? And just by looking at this, right, you can see that she's able to tell that the top 5 total revenue per flight is flight number 8202, flight number 1819, and so on and so forth. She's able to tell the aircraft type by number of flights. Okay, what are the types of air flights that people are actually taking? She's able to tell the number of aircraft that the company has in total, number of the routes most profitable, right? Which of the routes is the company or the air flight taking for them to gain more revenue, and so on and so forth. And this is just like one out of many portfolios. There's another one here that I'm going to be showing as well. Okay, this is the portfolio of a business analyst, right? I think Emil, not sure. But yeah, let's take a look at the projects that she's able to also work on and showcase as a business analyst. So if for any reason she wants to get a job as a business analyst and they ask her, what are the skills that you have? What can you do? What have you done before to be able to show that you have value and you're able to give that value to the company? Oh, all right. Then she's able to like present this portfolio to say, okay, these are the projects that I've worked on, and this, based off of my skills, I'm able to carry out this and that. For example, this is a unilever canteen ordering system that was worked on using business analysis approach. All right. So if she showcases a business analyst certificate and says, okay, I am a business analyst, all right, what have you worked on? These are the things that I've worked on. For example, I was able to, by using a comprehensive business analysis approach, including stakeholders analysis, RACI matrix, process flowing, SWOT analysis, and so on and so forth, to take a look at the Unilever canteen ordering system and to enhance the food ordering process for employees, right? If we want to explore this now, we'll click on this and see intensively if she's able to say, okay, this is what I worked on. I waiting for that to pop up. Okay, so I was able to draw out the problem statement, draw out the need of the company. Okay, what exactly is wrong with the company? What is the current state of the company, right? So problem statement with current state of the company. You can see based off of what she has there, she's able to talk about the challenges that the employee face due to significant rush in canteen between 12 noon to 1 p.m., how inefficient their lunch breaks are, the limited food choices, and the waste, how she's able to look at the objectives of the new canteen ordering system. So she's trying to optimize the ordering system of the canteen. So what exactly did she have to draw out? Alleviate canteen rush. This is to enable access to an updated menu, for the employee. Efficient ordering timing, how she's able to, efficiently time the ordering system of the company, and so on and so forth. Then more objectives, she was able to draw a business case. As a business analyst, if you're not able to draw a business case, then I don't know, right? So just by drawing just by drawing out this business case, obviously, like, a business case is something that you need to draw out to be able to prove to the company that this is the project what embarking on. And so just by drawing out this business case, she's able to prove a point. You can see from the executive summary that a proposed solution involves implementing an online ordering system to alleviate congestion, reduce waiting times, and offer employees the flexibility to order meals for delivery and in their workstations, right? She was able to define the problem statement. She gave different options that the company can take. Number one is to maybe do nothing and then watch their current operations dwindle. Then another option is to have an additional 300 seats. She proposed three options, right? Also to develop a food canteen ordering online system. She was able to talk about the benefits of embarking on this project, which is improved efficiency, employee satisfaction. Basically means that if the employees are satisfied, there's no problem of attrition within the company. Then also selection of food choices to reduce food wastage, right? She gave the timeline still on the business case, right? She gave the timeline for the project, which is basically from 2 to 3 months, then cost of embarking on this project, and expected returns on the company's investment. And just by doing this, if I'm a recruiter and I say that, oh, this person is able to use an ordinary PDF business case to prove a point, then I'm for sure going to want that kind of person in my company, right? She also stated the risks that are around this, and then the stakeholders that are going to be working with her on this project. All right, so these are the skills that you need to have as a business analyst. And just by saying I have a certification does not prove that you have the skills. You need to be able to bring your evidence to the table. You need to bring your evidence to the table. So I'm going to also look at another project that is here. Let's look at all right, ABC retail project, right? This was done using, oh, I would have wanted to show this one instead. Okay, so the Max Corp project, which is about using Power BI to solve a company's problem. All right, so this is another project that she was able to work on. Obviously shows that she's able to use Power BI as a business analyst. This is a sales dashboard, right? The company is trying to look at their sales and how to improve on their sales. And just by doing this, she's able to tell, okay, this is the project I have worked on, whereby the company has a total sales of 2.626 million in total sales. Number of customers that they currently have is 793. And just by building this dashboard, the company is able to say, okay, we need to improve on the number of customers that we have. We need to increase the number of states where we operate. We need to increase our total sales and so on and so forth. And so just by having all of these skills, you're able to prove the points that you do not just have a certificate, but you also have the knowledge, the hands-on skills to back up this certificates. If you're together, if you've been with me so far, can you drop, and you understand everything I've been saying so far? Can you drop a yes? If you're lost, you don't understand, can you drop a no very quickly in the chat? Right, thank you, Money Crown. Let's keep it going. If you've been with me so far, you understand everything that I've been saying, please drop a yes. Okay, I'm seeing a couple of no's, but I hope it makes sense very soon. Okay, so these are more projects, financial analyst, data scientist, data engineer, HR analyst, and so on and so forth. Now, these are some of the success stories that we've had so far. If you go on our LinkedIn page, you go on our Twitter page, you go on our YouTube, you see a lot of people talking about how they had no experience at all and how they were able to join analytics, and now they are working based off of the skills that they've learned from here. Number one here is Abigail. Abigail had experience. She was working as a care worker, right? She was working as a care worker in Canada, and then she learned how to be a business. I was showing you a project earlier where somebody drew a business case, right? So that's for business analysis, right? She was able to learn how to draw business cases, how to do stakeholders analysis, how to gather requirements, and now Abigail is working as a business analyst in Edmonton, Canada, right? Same for Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist, right? Earlier I said that if you are working with, the certificate that you got, that you have, drop a yes or no. These are examples of people that they are not working with the certifications that they got. They are working based off of the skills that they learned. They were able to land a job based off of the skills that they learned. Toyin is a pharmacist who transitioned to benefit analysis, right? She transitioned to data analytics, and now she works as a benefit analyst with the NHS in the UK, from pharmacist to data analytics. This is somebody else, Anointing Stephen, who formerly worked as a customer service rep, right? And now he works as a data analyst in the UK. And that's after learning the data analytics skills with Tenalytics. We also have Nathaniel. Nathaniel, got a full-time job as a data scientist with the largest research pharmaceutical firm in Barcelona, Spain, right? And that's after, learning all the skills that he needs to learn to be able to land this role. Lastly, we have Abdurrashid. Abdurrashid resides in Nigeria and currently works as a full-time data scientist with Child 420 in the US. Literally after training with us at Tenalytics, via the post-bac data science program. Now, I hope I've been able to convince, right, and not confuse majority of people here that getting hands-on skills is way, way better, way, way more profitable than certifications. Recruiters are no longer looking for certifications. They don't really care about the certifications that you have. It's the skills that you can bring into the company, it's the value that you can bring into the company that they are looking for. All right. Now, I know that a lot of people here are just like joining and are probably confused about the career paths to follow. So it's important. I said earlier that there are tech skills. We have a lot of tech skills, and then we have tech skills that are in demand. It's one thing to, learn a tech skill. It's another thing to learn an in-demand tech skill, because anybody can learn a tech skill. Anybody can transition into tech, but learning something that is high in demand is even way more profitable, right? So if you're confused about the career paths to follow, it is important to, number one, know the career paths that are high in demand. Emphasis on high in demand, because you don't want to waste your time, after you've done so much to learn a skill, you then don't want to waste a lot of time. You don't want to waste a lot of time on skills that are not really practical, are not really relevant in the world today, right? So number one is know the career paths that are high in demand. And then secondly, you want to understand exactly what the role entails. Okay. So it's one thing to learn a tech skill, it's another thing to learn an in-demand tech skill. Now, and secondly, you want to be sure what each of these role entails before you pick or choose the career paths to follow. Now, again, I said there are a lot of tech skills. Now, what are the tech skills to learn? This is a report from World Economic Forum, right, where we have all literally like a lot of tech skills. You'd see from AI machine learning to sustainability specialists, business intelligence analysts, investment funds managers, organizational development specialists, and so on and so forth, right? But you see the ones highlighted in red are the ones that are in demand. Now, you don't even have to be bothered or worried about, oh, which one should I do? We have done this research for you. All you need to do is listen and pick the one that resonates more with you, right? So we have the AI and machine learning. Like I said, we've done the research, and all you need to do is like pay attention and pick the one that resonates more with you. Okay, so we have the AI and machine learning specialists. We skipped sustainability specialist because it's not really in demand. And then we moved to business intelligence analysts, right? These people are needed everywhere. There's no company, there's like literally no company that is not using data these days. Companies are generating millions and millions and millions of data every single day, right? And they need business intelligence analysts to analyze this data for them, because it is this data that they will use to make informed decisions. It is this data that they will use to, propel their company forward. And if there are no experts to analyze this data, then it's just irrelevant. Their data is just useless. And that's why they need business intelligence analysts to analyze data. We also have information security analysts here, where these are majorly people that are in charge of protecting companies' systems. Don't worry, I'm going to explain these things one by one later on in the course of the program. We have data analysts and data scientists. We have big data specialists, right? We have the data engineers, we have the data architects, and we have the process automation specialists. So these are like the major in-demand tech skills that people are looking for. And it's not just by, even when you go to there's this list, the UK job shortage, right? You find at least 7 of these on the list. You can, just type on Google the UK job shortage, right? That's what it's called. If you go to if you maybe you're trying to relocate to Canada, you want to go through the tech route. If you go to their knock lists, right, and you maybe like check for Ontario that is always speaking like tech people, if you check their list, you see like 7 of these on the list as well. All right, so these are like the major in-demand tech skills to learn in 2024. Okay, so this is a report from World Economic Forum. We're going to share the slides with you, so please do well to fill the form, and yeah, you'd get the access to this report. We also have the project managers as well. Okay, somebody said financial analyst. We have financial analysts as well, right? Companies are looking to do more with their financial data. You'd see companies looking to project 5 years. They want to know what their company is going to do like in 5 years. And it's financial analysts that would, do all of these things, the financial modeling, financial valuation, it goes on and on and on. We also have the supply chain and logistics specialists as one of the major in-demand tech skills. So I've highlighted like the up to 10 now, right here. as the major in-demand tech skills that every single one of us here should know how to do. Yeah, maybe just pick one, right? Not all of them, but just pick one. Now, three things you need to consider before selecting a career path. Three things that you need to consider before selecting a career path. Number one is the ease of learning. Again, it's one thing to learn a career to learn a tech skill. It's another thing to learn something that will be giving you headache, right? So ease of learning is very important. You want to be sure that okay, this thing that I'm learning it's in demand and it's very easy to learn. You're not going to be stressing or cracking your head or sitting in front of the laptop hours on hours trying to debug or humbug, right? So number one is ease of learning. Number two is this of transitioning. How fast can you transition from the classroom to your first role? That's another thing to consider. How fast can you move from, okay, I've learned these skills, I have the skills now, I know how to do it, to your first role in tech, right? So number two is this of transitioning. Number three is high and rewarding salary. So you don't want to learn a tech skill and then be earning literally something that is at the same level with what you were earning previously. You want to ensure that, okay, the skills that you've learned is to, move you from point A to point, I don't know, F, right? So three things: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high and rewarding salary. And we at Analytics have handpicked eight career paths that will help you land a job fastest and also ensure that you are relevant in the job market. Eight major career paths that would help you land a job and also ensure that you're relevant in the job market. Again, ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high and rewarding salary. And just by these eight career paths, you're able to land a job, and not just land a job, but also remain relevant in the job market, because these are skills that are not going anywhere. Forever and ever, companies are going to keep needing business analysts to optimize their processes, to make sense of their data, right? To make sense of their optimize their processes, to initiate new developments within the company, and so on and so forth. Companies are forever going to be needing data analysts to analyze their data. Every day they are generating data. They need professionals to make sense of that data. They don't just want to be generating data and then keeping it in their database. No, they need people that can look into this data and make sense of the data and draw insights from the data, and then share it with them, and they're able to make informed business decisions. Companies no longer want to be doing pick and drop, or this one will work, this one will not work. They don't want to do that anymore. They want to make informed decisions. And as long as we have companies that are, coming up every day, data analysts are going to be needed every single day. Then data scientists as well. Companies no longer want to leave their future to chances. They want people that are able to predict what is going to be happening in the company next couple of years. They want people that are able to look into their data, build machine learning models, train and test their data, and then predict what's going to happen in the next couple of years. They also need data engineers that are able to build and maintain their databases. Like I said earlier, companies are generating multiple millions of data every single day. Now, imagine if they are keeping their data in something like maybe a spreadsheet, or what's it called now, Excel, what have you. It makes no sense, right? So they need data engineers that can build and maintain databases. They need cybersecurity analysts. Companies are protecting themselves from hackers, from people that hack data and sell and do all of those nasty things. They do not want to, for example, a company like Amazon now do not want hackers to hack into their system and steal their customer database, because the moment that happens, even everybody's going to stop shopping there, because obviously you've exposed them, right? So companies need people they need tech professionals, like cybersecurity analysts, that can protect the company's computer and protect the company's system. They also need project managers, they need scrum masters that can plan accordingly and manage projects within the company. Okay, because obviously, like, they are looking to do a lot of releases, a lot of projects, a lot of what have you within the company. They need project managers that can manage their projects and see to fruition, ensure that it brings the results that they want. They need HR analysts to manage their HR data, because employees are very important to companies. They know that now, and they need HR analysts that can look into the data of the company, the HR data of the company rather, and make sense of the data to ensure that employees are satisfied and happy with their roles. Lastly, they need financial analysts that can make sense of their financial data, financial analysts that can build future models for the company, predict the company's what's going to be happening in the company in the next 5 years, and also do a lot of valuation for their financial models. Like, that makes sense. Okay, so this is you asking. We have a lot of people that say, okay, I have no experience, or I don't have any tech related degree. How will I make it happen? How shall this thing be? Right. And I can tell you for a fact that it's possible. You don't necessarily have to have any tech skills, you don't have to have any tech background. I don't have any tech background, but I'm here today advocating for more people to join the tech ecosystem. So I have no experience, I have no tech related degree, I have no tech certification, I have nothing. How can I make this happen? Using an analytics 6 steps approach, we can help you make this happen. The analytics 6 step approach to tech career transitioning is what you need to make this happen. I'm very going to quickly explain the 6 steps very quickly. Number one is identify your target role and determine which role interests you. Okay, so in a couple of minutes, we're going to explain each role in details. But before we get to that point, I want you to, put your mind on this 6 pillar of job success, because it's very important for you to pick the tech skill that you're going to be transitioning into in the next couple of minutes. So number one, you want to identify your target role. What exactly would you enjoy doing? Again, we're going to be explaining all 8 roles in a couple of minutes, and for you to be able to pick the one that would make sense for you, you need to be able to identify your target role. Okay, which of these tech skills would be of interest to you? Once they are explaining, I want you to take your once I bring up Chukwemeka to explain each of these roles, I want you to have like a sheet of paper or what have you, write it down, and then look at it and say, okay, which of these roles actually interests me? Which one would I be very happy doing? Okay. Number 2 is you need to educate yourself, right? Start learning the skills. After you've identified the tech role that you want to transition into, then you need to educate yourself. You need to start learning the skills to develop capacity within this chosen pathway. You need to, because it's, you can't just select, right? You need to also like learn the things that you need to actually transition into this role. So educating yourself is very important. It's the second pillar to job success. And ensuring you join a learning partner. Now, we see a lot of people say, no, I can transition myself, I can do this on my own, and sorry, excuse me, and so on and so forth. But it's one thing to have a community that you're learning with, you have a learning partner that can help make the journey easier. And it's another thing for you to be scrambling around looking for a solution yourself. So number 2 is to ensure that you join a learning partner. Number 3 is to gain project-based experience. Project-based experience, because without the knowledge or without the evidence that you can get things done, that you have the skills, then it's no longer important. You having the skills is one thing. You having something that you can use to show for the skill is another thing. So gaining project-based experience is also the third pillar of job success, right? You need to have projects that you've worked on, you build projects that you can showcase in your portfolio, and then of course an internship to try to secure internships in job companies, in tech companies, to gain workplace experience. Number 4 is to develop employability skills. Know how to tailor your CV, know how to optimize your LinkedIn, know how to, work as a freelancer. For people that want to, you don't want to work with anybody, you just want to be on your own, or you want to, earn on the side. So work as a freelancer, and also gaining interviewing skills, because it's one thing to gain skills, it's another thing to be able to say that, oh, this is what I can do, right? So developing employability skills. Number 4 is networking, having an online community that you can learn with, you can do life together, right? Going to tech meetups and learning about the latest technologies and industry trends. That's networking. Okay. And yeah, looking at the power of joining the analytics community. We have a community that every of our learners are a part of, right? So you're learning with people, you're transitioning with people, you're not on your own in this journey. You have other people that you're working with. Right. So this is somebody saying, one of our participants that got a job, saying that I want to thank you for, I just want to say thank you for providing me with a reference. This is one of the things that having a community can do for you, right? And okay, the number 6 is mentorship, right? Mentorship, because you can, you know, follow no road. That's what I'm trying to say. I wanted to say it in a way that is not, but yeah, follow no road is what they would, is like a slang in the tech community. Okay. Yeah. So mentorship is very important when you're transitioning into tech, because you definitely don't want to make a lot of mistakes that people have made. You don't want to, do things the wrong way. That's where mentorship comes into play. You're going to be working with the best in the industry to guide you through your journey. You're not going to be doing it on your own. You're going to be learning on your own. We have people that are going to be holding your hands to ensure that you get to your destination. All right. So again, working with mentors will save you precious time, because more you can, the mistakes that you ought to make, they've made these mistakes, and just by having them mentor you, you are, will not be making these mistakes. That's what I'm trying to say. So 6 steps: mentorship, community. Oh, somebody wants me to take it again, so that's not a problem. Identifying your target role, that's number 1. Number 2, educating yourself. Number 3, gaining project-based experience. Number 4, developing employability skills. Number 5, networking. Very, very important, networking. Joining an online community, right? Number 6, mentorship. Following somebody that knows the way, just so you don't get lost. All right. So this is all of it in practical steps on how to get your journey started. Okay, these are the 6 pillars of job success. And if any of these falls off, it's not, they are incomplete without each other, right? You can't remove educating yourself and say, okay, I want to go with the others. They all work hand in hand and are all very important. So now we're going to be looking at how can you get into any of these career paths? How can you get started or get into any of these career paths? So at this junction, I'm going to be handing over to the CEO of Analytics, and that's Chukwemeka, to take us through how you can get into any of these tech career paths. I can see a question in the chat. Let me look at it very quickly. All right. Okay, that's okay. I'm trying to just scroll. Okay, how can I follow Uno Road? We're going to be talking to you about that in a couple of minutes. So with a resounding round of applause, can we bring up the next person to take us through how to get started? Hi, Chukwemeka.
Hi, Damilola. Thank you so much. You've done a really amazing job. Please, do you mind making my second device a co-host?
Okay.
All right. So while we are waiting for that to happen, if you've been following us up to this very moment, please can you drop a one or anything in the chat box so that we'll be sure that you've been with us up till this very moment. Okay, so Damdela have said a lot of things, but if you've been following us up till this moment, I would love to see you drop a one or anything in the chat box so that we know that we still have people conversing with us here. Okay, fantastic. I can see a couple of comments dropping. All right, I think I can share now, Daniela. Okay, fantastic. So Daniela has done a fantastic job. She has done an amazing job bringing us to this very moment. So quickly, I'm going to dive into how you can get into any of these career paths. Hi, Daniela, please confirm that you can hear me and my screen is showing. Hi,
Yes, we
Daniela.
can see your screen. I can hear you.
All right. Fantastic. Okay, and also I also saw a couple of comments asking how we can get this slide. So please make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleague Lydia is dropping in the chat box. So we're going to send the recording of this session and also the slide that we are using for this session to you once we are done with everything we are doing. Okay, so make sure that you fill the attendance form and we are going to send the slide and also the recording of this session to you. And any question you have, please just hold on to it. We are going to do justice to it. Once we are done highlighting all the necessary areas that we need to talk about, we are going to take your question. Okay, we are going to call you up to speak, and we're also going to allow you to type in your comments. Okay, so first, Damilola mentioned 8 main courses that we've chosen to do here at Analytics. And that's basically because they offer the 3 things that we consider: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and of course, high rewarding salaries, high rewarding salary. So the first of them, business analysis. Business analysis. I don't know if you've already, chosen the exact target area that you want to transition into. But before I also dive right into business analysis, I would love to know if you've also already secured the exact tech stack that you want to start up with. Is it a business analyst, a data analyst, cybersecurity, agile project manager, financial person, HR also? I want to see it in the chat box. Let me be sure of all the courses I'll be explaining right now, okay? So if you've selected the exact target area that you want to transition into, I want to see you drop it in the chat box so that we know the people that are still here, okay? So Damilola mentioned that the first step to you getting your journey started is identify your target role. So if you've identified your exact target role, I would love to see it in the chat box so that I will be sure that people here captured everything that Damilola said. Okay, fantastic. I can see a couple of charts dropping. I can see cyber security. I can see business analysis, DE, Scrum Master and Business Analytics, HR, business, data, business, cyber, HR, agile. Fantastic, fantastic. It means that some of us have already chosen a career path that we want to transition into. The next one for you to do is basically to educate yourself by starting your learning journey. Okay, but for people that have not yet secured the exact target role that they want to transition through, I'm here to explain each of them for you. So please bring your paper and biro and work with me. Okay, your paper and biro and work with me right now. So starting with business analyst. Who exactly is a business analyst? Right. So a business analyst is someone that serves as the middle guy between the technical team and the non-technical team. He's the middle person between the CEOs, the CFOs, the CCOs, all the C's that I can think of in the company, and the technical team, the developers, the analysts, the cybersecurity people, the team entirely instead of anything technical in the company. The business analyst is in between them. And why he's there is so that he can interpret all those technical jargon to the CEOs, and the CEOs can also pass information to the business analysts on what they want to see. Okay, so he is the bridge between the business stakeholders and the technical teams, ensuring effective communication and understanding of all the requirements. So for you to fully be effective as a business analyst, there are some certain key areas that you need to have knowledge in. And that is, first of all, you need to understand process mapping. Okay, you need to understand process mapping. For example, while we were in the bank those days, if you enter any of the man trap doors, the first thing you're going to meet is a long queue, right? You're going to join a long queue. And when you get to the teller point, you pick up your form. At that point, now go back to the desk, fill the form, queue up again, and get to the tellering point again for you to be able to perform a transaction. But business analysts there in the bank that entire process and said, no, this is very, very tedious. The customer journey is too long. How do we make it seamless for the company? They introduced the touch points at that exact mantra that once you are walking into any banking hall, you are either seeing someone that is asking you, this is the form, pick what you want to do, or you are seeing their form shelf where you just walk straight to and pick the form for the transaction you want to do. And then you join the queue, get to the tellering points, perform your transaction. This is business analyst looking at all the touch points that exist during that customer journey. And what did he do? He said, we are going to remove this initial queue up, get to the point and pick a form. Rather, let's keep the form initially so that once anybody's walking in, they pick the form and queue up. So this is them, optimizing the existing process. And you as a business analyst, these are part of the things that you are going to be doing. How do you make the processes better? How do you remove bottlenecks that exist in the customer journey and make it seamless? Also, you're going to be looking at project initiation planning, right? Project initiation planning, because you are like the intermediary person between the technical team and the non-technical guys. You are going to be in meetings that require lots of projects. So how do you initiate the planning of any project? We are also going to walk you through this exact area. And of course, you will also learn Agile and Scrum for projects, because basically under project management, we have the waterfall and the Agile methodology. Waterfall being the traditional means of project management, while Agile is basically the modern means of project management. So you are also going to learn this and also learn software development lifecycle. When we talk about software development lifecycle, it doesn't mean that you are just going to be working on softwares. No, the entire development lifecycle is also applicable to other projects, other products that I want to bring into life. Okay, so you can still, use that exact life cycle to perform the other projects that you are also going to be on. And you also learn requirements fundamentals. What are the necessary things that you require for this project to be fully executed? And also elicitation method. Remember, you are the intermediary person between the technical team and the non-technical guy. So this means you need to be able to elicit information from the non-technical team. For example, you want to build a core banking system and you've gone to your CFO, hello, sir, what and what will you need to see inside this core banking system? You need to be able to know how you can frame your question for your non-technical guys so that they can give you the exact things that you need. And also you're going to learn stakeholder analysis and engagement, and of course, ChatGPT for business analysis. So if you watch closely, I skipped number 1, okay, because I'm coming back to that exact place. And why we added Excel, Power BI, and SQL to business analysts is to also equip you with the necessary tools that a data analyst use to analyze data. So what this means is that you are also going to learn Excel for analysis. You are going to learn Power BI for visualization, and also SQL, structured query language, for database management. So this means you are going to be fully equipped as a business data analyst, right? So by the time you are done taking this program for business analysis, you can comfortably apply to jobs in data roles and also apply to jobs in business analysis. So the tools that you are going to be learning, like I mentioned before now, they are Excel. You're going to learn Power BI for visualization, SQL for database management, Lucid Charts, Jira, Draw.io for your process mapping. All right. And the learning timeline for business analysis is for 4 months. Okay. You will learn in the classroom immersively using case study based learning. You saw some of the portfolios that Damilola displayed to us. Right. So all those are case studies that our past students work with. And what this means is that if you are learning Excel, you are going to be learning it using a case study, right? If you are learning Power BI, you're going to be learning it using a case study. If you're learning SQL, you are also learning it using a case study. And what this means is that by the time you are done learning these 9 key areas, key learning areas for a business analyst, you'll be well equipped to have ample of projects in your portfolio. So I saw a couple of people asking in the chat box before I joined, is it even logical to post your company's projects here to show recruiters? Okay, so basically, if you are applying for a technical role, there must be that aspect where you provide your portfolio. Okay, if you're applying to be a data analyst and the recruiter is looking at your CV and they are not seeing a link to your portfolio, you are going to be sieved out because there is no evidence of work you've done. Okay, so it's different that you are applying for a sales role and you are applying for a technical role. It is very, very, very important for you to be able to display and show evidence of your learning. Remember, if you do not have the years of experience already, you are already shortcut there. So there is need for you to have project-based experience to also show in your own portfolio. And that's why it's necessary for you to always make sure that it is in your CV, right? It is very, very important that you have your portfolio in your CV because any recruiter looking for a data analyst, okay, you've said you can do Power BI, Excel, SQL. What's evidence of what you've done before now? They need to see all these things before you get to the technical assessment stage. We're going to still get all this side, but it is very, very important that you make sure that you can show evidence of this. And how we make it happen is by teaching you using case study, that each of the key learning areas that you are going to be having in class, you are working on a case study. Okay, so like I mentioned, the learning timeline for business analysis is for 4 months. You learn it massively in the classroom for 2 months, and then you also have a virtual internship with us where you work to build managing a web app development project. Okay, so as a business analyst, you are going to manage a web application that is going to be built with software developers, scrum masters, stakeholders, and so on and so forth. So you guys are going to come together and work on this project. And of course, you're also going to add it as part of your portfolio on things that you've worked with. The classes holds every Saturdays and Sunday in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. This is very, very conducive for people in Europe and Africa. And also in the evening, we'll have classes from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time, which is also conducive for people in Canada and US, as it should be around 10 a.m. their time. And also on Sundays, the classes is 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time, and the evening class holds 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. West African time. Of course, moving forward, we also have other areas that you also need to know about. So some people mentioned that they would love to be a data analyst. I want to be a data analyst. Who exactly is a data analyst? So simply put, a data analyst is someone that makes sense of the company's data. Someone that makes sense of the company's data. For example, when we joined this call, I think when I joined, we were around 140. Okay, so a data analyst is going to look at that data. 140 people joined the master class, right? Where do they join? Which location did they join us from? We are seeing people who have roughly 70% joining from UK, who have 20% joining from Africa, have the other 10% joining from North America and America. So if a data analyst looks at the data, he's going to ask the question of why did this happen? So the first question that a data analyst is going to be answering is what happened? And that's okay. What happened is that we had 440 people on the call, 70% from UK, 20% from Africa, the other 10% from America. Okay, this is what happened. He's going to go further to answer the question of why did it happen, right? Because he's trying to make sense of that exact data. Why did that happen? He's now going to look at the other data that the company has, possibly the marketing data. And from there, he's going to see that analytics marketed or they spent maybe 70% of their marketing fund in UK, and they spend 20% in Africa, maybe roughly 10% in America. So like that, it's showing direct line of link between what happened and why it happened. So the next thing that they are going to say, okay, if we want another thing to happen, it means that we've already seen where the trend is coming from. What we simply have to do is also market more in these other regions. And that is basically what a data analyst is going to be doing. He's going to be making sense of the data, answering two basic questions of what happened and why it happened. That's descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. And the key learning area you're going to have as a data analyst is, first of all, problem solving. Okay, because for you to join a company as a data analyst, you are not there to build amazing dashboard, to build visually appealing dashboard. The first thing you are there to help them do is to solve a problem, right? So as a data analyst, we are going to walk you through how do you solve problems using the various frameworks for solving problems, the CRISP-DM, the SWOT analysis, and so on and so forth. So after that, we'll now move you through Excel for analysis. How do you clean data? How do you analyze data? How do you make sense of data using Excel? First, we are going to teach you the various functions you'll be using in Excel before we walk you through how you can use pivot table in Excel. And of course, how you can also build dashboard and show visual appealing insights from the data that you are working with. After it also, you're going to be working with SQL, because as your company is growing, so is the data that they also have. For example, if you're working for a company like maybe one of the banks in Nigeria at the moment, definitely you are going to be working with a database, all right? So it's important that you, as a data analyst, can easily query the database and bring out the data for you to analyze. So that is where SQL is important. You are going to learn the various functions for you to be able to do your query using Postgres or any of the other database that is out there. And of course, Power BI and Tableau, which is 100% for visualization. How do you show visual data from the raw data that you have? How do you bring out insights? Because one thing is that if you come to a management meeting and you're presenting numbers, you're presenting things in numerical format, whereas a bar chart or a pie chart or an area chart can easily depict what you want to say, you will easily lose your audience. So it's very, very important that you learn how to tell your story using data and, of course, in a visual appealing manner. And that is what Power BI and Tableau is going to make you know. Of course, like I mentioned, you learn about telling and story in form of data. How do you story tell using data? Because you need to be able to walk your audience from point A to point B and not possibly, cut and join. You can easily lose people. And like we've always said, AI is here to help everybody optimize on their role, which is why we also introduced ChatGPT for analytics for you to be able to make use of AI to optimize yourself as a data analyst. So these are things that you are going to learn in class. And of course, Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. The learning timeline for data analysts is for 4 months or so. You learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months and then work on a real life case study for 1 month. Remember, all the areas that you're going to be touching in this class, they are all real life case study based, real life case studies that you are going to be working on. And the classes hold every Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and also in the evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. On Sundays, you get what we call a self-paced watch me do it video. So this is just like short bite videos, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes for you to understand deeper concepts in data analysis. So once you do your classes on Saturdays, on Sundays, you get a short bite video that you watch within the week and then prepare yourself for the next Saturday to come into classes. All right, so the basic tools that you're going to be learning is, of course, Excel, SQL, Tableau, Power BI, ChatGPT, and also Microsoft Fabrics. Then moving on, we also have the data scientists. We have the data scientists. So who exactly is a data scientist? I prefer to call data scientists as future tellers, okay? They tell the future. And how do they make this happen? Remember, a data analyst works on 2 basic aspects of analytics, which is descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics, which is what happened and why it happened, okay? But a data science will go ahead to tell you prescriptive analytics aspect of it, which is basically what is going to happen in future if we continue going down this path. All right. And the key learning areas you're going to be taking out is basically statistics. So when we hear about statistics, you're not going to come to class and you're going to be learning, okay, what is mean, what is mode, what is median, and so on and so forth. No, you're going to use case study to practice how you can use all those key areas to do forecasting, how you can use it to perform descriptive statistics, how you can use it to perform probability statistics, and so on and so forth. You can do hypothesis testing and the others. So using statistics, you will be able to do so many things. Okay. Now moving on, you also learn forecasting and predictive analytics using Microsoft Excel. Like I mentioned, remember you are there to also tell them what is going to happen, right? And you make use of the predictive models that are going to build to perform time series analysis, to perform regression analysis, for you to bring out your trend prediction, right? And these are things that you can easily tell the company that, okay, because this happened in Q1 and this happened in Q2, from the data of what happened and why it happened, which is also currently happening in Q3, it means that we are going to have this result by the end of Q3. So for us to be able to change our path, for peradventure, the company is on a loss path, that means they need to make changes to why it is happening. Okay, so you're also going to learn Tableau for data analytics, where you also learn how you connect to data sources, how you create your visuals, because you need to also be able to bring visual insights for your audience, your stakeholders to understand what is currently going on. And also you will learn SQL, structured query language, where you learn the basic queries, the advanced queries, the joins, and the select and insert, and so on and so forth, for you to be able to query the database and bring out data for your analysis. And also, you will learn Python programming, okay? So when you hear Python, is not the snake or the other animals out there. It is a programming language, right? Where you're going to use to also analyze data. So you'll be learning the basic syntax and the data types and so on and so on. So learn the functions and the models, which you are going to be using to transform your data. You will learn Python. You also learn explorative data analysis and, of course, machine learning, basically the supervised learning aspects and the unsupervised learning aspects. You also learn computer vision. How do you build image processing data? How do you build object detection apps? Okay, for example, you want your web app to detect your face at any point. How do you build all these things using your computer vision? And also we have the GitHub version control and also ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for coding, and of course, Microsoft Fabric for analytics. So for a data science, you are going to be learning also for 4 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you intern with us for 1 month. Okay, the classes holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. morning class, and then the evening class holds every 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time, right? So the key tools that you are going to be learning, of course, you'll be learning statistics, you'll be learning Excel, you'll be learning Tableau, you'll be learning Python, you'll be learning SQL, you'll be learning Microsoft Fabrics, you'll be learning GitHub, and of course, you will also be learning ChatGPT. Then moving on to data engineering, okay? When you hear data engineers, who are they? Are they people that is just constructing data, or what exactly does it entail? So for a data engineer, I always like to liken them to people that are plumbers in the normal construction company. So the way we have plumbers that connect various water outlets in the building to their sewer, okay, that is how a data engineer connects several aspects of the data ecosystem to the database, right? So he is building the architecture that is behind everything that everyone is doing. So the basic things that you are going to be learning as a data engineer is, first of all, you will learn introduction to data engineering. Remember, all our programs, they are all from basic level to expert level. So even if you have no prior experience in any of these technical parts, we'll walk you through from ground zero to expert level, okay? Okay, so the first thing, introduction to data engineering, which you are going to learn what is data architecture, what's data lifecycle management, every single thing you need to know relating to data, we are going to walk you through it in that first in the first introductory class. And then you now talk about SQL, like I mentioned before, you're going to be learning the basic commands and the advanced queries. How do you put data in the database? How do you query data to bring it out from the database, and so on and so forth? And also we have the Python programming. How do you also analyze your data using the Python program? You're going to learn the basic syntax. You're going to learn the different libraries for data engineering, the pandas, the NumPy, and so on and so forth. And also you learn the Linux operating system, which is basically where you also learn the basic Linux commands and also the process management for the Linux operating system. You also have the number 5, which is building a custom ETL pipeline. For example, you want to be able to scrape your data. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. Extract, transform, and load. So what this means is that peradventure you want to analyze the number of times that Chivido was mentioned in the social media space in the last couple of weeks. So you can decide to get the API for Twitter, the API for Instagram, the API for Facebook, or on other platforms. And once you've gotten that API, you instantly connect it to your own Python, where you run your analysis, where you run your transformation. So the API is going to allow you to extract data from all those platforms. And now you are performing the transformation using your Python programming. And afterwards, you can now load the data to your own database. So this allows for seamless transfer of information that every single day you can decide to, okay, click on refresh, and instantly you will know everything that happened with respect to all the data that you are trying to extract from all those social media spaces. So this is also how companies build data and make it available for their managers. For example, you're a line manager and you want every month, you want to be able to have the number of time that the number of sales that you made yesterday. This is how it is also done. You automate all the processes, you load it, and simply using your Apache Spark and Apache Airflow, you are able to automate this exact process that every morning by 8 a.m., you will get that exact, okay, this is all the sales that you had for yesterday. You're also going to be learning the AWS, okay? You're going to be learning AWS Cloud Engineering, which is basically how do you utilize Amazon Web Services to deploy, to manage, and to also scale your data, right? How do you use AWS to deploy, to manage, and also scale your data? So these are things that you'll be learning in the classroom. And of course, you also have your version control using GitHub and also ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. Okay, so I'm still going to get to the pricing, okay? Just hang on a little moment, understand the courses that you want to take first, understand the key learning area so that you'll be able to know the value done and choose where you want to be first. Remember, the first thing you need to do in your journey to transitioning is to identify your exact target role. Okay, so at this moment, I need everyone to be able to identify their target role before we now move to the other aspect. Okay, so for data engineering, the learning timeline is for 5 months, all right? It's for 5 months where you learn in the classroom immersively for 3 months, after which you intern with us for 2 months. So also someone asked, what's the internship all about? So basically, the internship provides you an avenue to also work on other real-life case study. Because we play in the contractual space, what we do is that sometimes when we get contractual works, we codify the data. For example, you are getting a job from Chukwemeka. Instead of you seeing it as Chukwemeka, you're seeing it as maybe something like CA, Inc. Global, right? So it means that you are working for a company, CA Inc. Global, but indirectly, it is a real life problem that you are solving, right? You are solving a real life problem. Is it a paid internship? Stephen, 100% no, it is not a paid internship. It is part of your learning program with us, okay? It is part of your learning system with us where you can comfortably speak to that you've consulted with analytics and worked on so and so case study. Okay, so continuing, the data engineering program is on Saturdays alone, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time, which can be 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain time if you're in Canada or if you are in US. And on Sundays, you also get to watch the self-paced Watch Me Do It videos where you are going to be seeing and you are going to be learning other deeper concepts in data engineering for you to understand the necessary things that you need to know. Okay, we also have the financial analyst. Okay, who is a financial analyst? I saw a couple of people saying, okay, I want to be a financial analyst or I want to be a HR analyst. Who exactly is a financial analyst? So a financial analyst is an analyst that makes sense of financial data, right? So in the world of today, believe me, all companies need a financial analyst because they want to be able to say, okay, this is the cost of goods sold, this is our capex for the month, these are OPEX, that's our capital expenditure and operational expenditure. These are what it means. And if we continue on this exact path, we are going to finish the profits that we've not even made. Right? So these are things that a financial analyst will be able to bring out the data after analyzing the company data basically. And the key learning areas that you will have is first of all, problem solving. So just like a data analyst, you also be learning problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Okay, you'll be learning Excel for analysis, Power BI for visualization, and SQL for querying your database. After which you now streamline your learning style to the financial space, starting with accounting fundamentals, financial analysis. How do you perform financial modeling? How do you build your models that, okay, peradventure, you want to make 20% as your marginal profit? What and what do you need to do where you build different models where you have your 30% profits, 20% marginal profit, 10% marginal profits, and you are going to see how your data is going to be. And afterwards, also learn the valuation, you learn sensitivity and scenario analysis, and of course, also learn ChatGPT for analysis. Your learning timeline is also for 4 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then intern with us for 1 month working on real life case studies. The classes holds every Saturday, 11 p.m. and then evening class 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. On Sundays, you get also your financial analysis and of course ChatGPT for analytics. Then for the HR analyst, HR analyst is basically someone that makes sense of the people. Shola, yeah, I don't know which exact one you want me to repeat, but I'm sure I'm going to take your question. I'm going to take your question definitely. All right. So for the HR analyst, people that make sense of the basic area a data analyst will learn, starting with problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Okay, so once you are done learning these exact 4 initial tools that a data analyst will have, you now transition to streamline yourself in the HR space, learning things like the HR analytics and performance evaluation. How do you use Excel or Power BI to perform your appraisal system? You want to appraise people in your company. How do you make sense of it? How do you use Excel to build that exact data? Because it might be in a company that do not have HRMS platforms, which means you need to build your own models that will allow you to appraise your subordinates or the entire company generally. Also, you have the HR metrics and life cycle. How do you know when to perform stay interview instead of exit interview? So for various organizations of today, what they perform is exit interview, which is after someone has left the organization or after someone has tendered their resignation, they are now fixing an exit interview to understand, okay, what you have done to make it better for you. But if you are a HR analyst, you should be able to have data of how your churn rate is, how people are leaving your company. So what this means is that, you know that once everyone clocks their 3rd year in your company, they start resigning. Or maybe when someone gets to 35 years, they start looking for other places. It simply means at the point where your employees get to maybe 2 years, 9 months, or 2 years, 10 months, you are organizing a stay interview and asking them the various questions. Okay, how's your stay been? What can we do to make your stay better? Is there anything in this past couple of years that want us to do in a different way? So these are things that you need to know, but you will not know it if you do not know the exact thing that is making people leave your organization, or know the exact time that people leave your organization. And you will know all these things when you perform your people analysis. Also, we are going to learn things like HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and report automation, of course, building your case and creating action, and also ChatGPT for analytics. So the learning timeline is also for 4 months, where you learn in the classroom massively for 3 months, and then you intern with us for 1 month or so. The classes holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and in the evening time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. After which, you will now have your self-paced watch me do it videos, which you watch every Sunday. Hi, Daniela, please confirm that you can still hear me. Okay, hi, Daniela, please confirm that you can
Yes,
still
we
hear me.
can hear you.
All right, fantastic. So moving on, we have the Agile Project Manager. Okay, we have the Agile Project Manager, also the Scrum Master, which basically is someone that facilitates or coach a team for them to work on a project using the Agile method. All right. So basically, under project management, remember we have the waterfall method and we have the Agile methodology. And the Agile methodology, what it does is that it makes you work in iterative formats. For example, today, you see that Instagram, their like option is once you click, it's just showing you a small heart. Tomorrow, if you click it again, it's showing you a bigger heart. And the next time you want to share or do anything, they are always moving their icons around. So this is a company that is working iteratively. They do not wait to have everything they want to do before they push the application to out. Okay. So what they do is that the application is out already, and then they have what we call items in their product backlog and so on and so forth. Maybe other user stories that they have not worked on. So what they do now is that depending on the sprint that comes up, they are now going to be pushing all these things to development. But the various things that you are going to be learning as a agile project manager, also a scrum master, is basically introduction to project management methodologies and structure. Okay, what exactly is agile methodology? What exactly is project management? We are going to walk you through this exact method. And because you as a project manager will have a lot of times for you to be speaking and communicating to people, you also need to learn the project management skills and communication. Okay, you need to learn how to communicate and the skills that you need that will help you pass on information to your team of engineers or team of, definitely team of engineers, right? And also you learn the foundations of Agile and Scrum. Foundations of Agile and Scrum. And afterwards, you learn understanding the Scrum framework and then the Scrum artifacts. How do you perform? How do you build user stories for your exact project? How do you put items in the product backlog? For example, what exactly is all these product backlog and so on and so forth? So once you want to bring any project to fruition, the first thing is for you to identify what do I need for me to build this mobile app. Using mobile app as an example. For example, if you want to cook jollof rice today, first thing you're going to say is what do I need for me to cook this jollof rice, right? At that point, to identify, you need to buy onion, you need to buy oil, you need to buy rice, you need to buy water. So all these things, you are going to put them in your product backlog. Okay, so you bought the items, you've kept it in your kitchen. And then at the point where you need to deploy any, you're now picking one of them and pushing it to your sprint planning, right? That is how you also pick your onion and you put it in the pot for your cooking. That is how this also works when it comes to Scrum Master. So basically, you are working iteratively. That if at the point you are done cooking your meal, you test it and you're like, oh, there's no salt in it. You can also decide to put salt inside your pot. That is how working as a Scrum Master is. You are working iteratively. Put everything in your product backlog, build your user stories. Possibly you want to design your login interface, which is basically your username and your password. That is your exact sprint, which runs for 2 weeks. So for that exact period, they're going to identify what is the acceptable criteria for me to say that my username and my password page is completely done. Okay, you're not going to put down things that you want to see from the developers. Remember, you are not a developer. You're not a software developer. You're not any of those things. You don't even need to know how to code. But yours is for you to be able to tell them using Scrum method, using agile methodologies. These are things that they need to know. These are things that they need to do. And these are things that you want to see by the time the app is done. So that's basically what you are going to be doing as an agile project manager. And of course, basically, you also learn the advanced Scrum and agile practices where you learn how do you perform your daily stand-ups, how do you perform your sprint retrospective. So these are things that we're going to walk you through when you join the classroom. And remember, it is from the ground level to the expert level. Okay, even if you have zero knowledge of all this area, we are going to be learning them using case study-based learning. Also, you will learn end-to-end use of Jira and Confluence in projects. So basically, these are tools that you can use for your project management. Confluence for project management collaboration and for tracking your tasks. Jira for tracking project deliverables, and also Trello. So what we do is that we give you Confluence and Jira. And it's also like you knowing how to use Instagram, WhatsApp. Once you know how to use Instagram, you do not need to know how to go and start learning how you want to use WhatsApp again, right? So once you have idea of Jira and Confluence, can comfortably use any of the project management tools out there. Okay, next one is also learn agile metrics and reporting, how you can know your velocity charts, your burn up and burn down charts. How do you know if your team is delivering or if they're not delivering? Are they below their timeline or are they exceeding their timeline for you to give them rest? Because as a project manager, you need to be able to manage the end-to-end of that project and make sure that your team, they are giving in their best at all times. And then you also learn leadership and real-world application, because basically, as a project manager, you are a leader, okay? You are the leader in that exact team, and people are looking up to you. So you need to be able to learn the leadership styles, things that is going to work for you as a leader, because you are the coach of that exact team. And of course, you're going to learn the Nexus Scale Scrum, and then this is going to help you prepare basically for your professional Scrum Master examination if you want to go forth and get it in the long run. The learning timeline is also for 4 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 3 months and intern with us for 1 month working on real life case studies. The classes holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and then on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. So the classes holds Saturdays and Sundays. So for the guys that protect the digital assets, everything that we've mentioned, someone needs to be able to make sure that this data that people are working with, that it's highly protected. Okay, that this data that the Scrum Master is collecting, that data that the analyst is analyzing, the one that its data engineer is connecting to various pipelines, that they are protected, is the cybersecurity analyst. And what he basically does is to make sure that the organization's digital assets is protected, right? From cyber attacks, from hacking, and so on and so forth. And the key learning areas that you are going to be having as a cybersecurity person is, first of all, you will learn foundations of computing and networking. What is computer? What is mouse? What is CPU with respect to computing? And then coming to networking, what is IP? What is subnet? How do you know the IP to assign to any of your digital assets? And so on and so forth. So we are going to teach you all those basic aspects of computer before we actually dive into cybersecurity. Okay, so coming to introduction to cybersecurity, we'll walk you through the life cycle of what cybersecurity has been all about in the last couple of years. How has cybersecurity evolved? Okay, so that you can understand where we are coming from to where we are going. Before we now dive right into information security principles. So as a cybersecurity person, this is the pillar on which everything that you're going to be learning is hinged on, right? Because once you understand the CIA triad, which is basically confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. How do you make your data confidential? You're going to learn the critical things underneath it, which is basically hashing, encryption, etc. And then how do you ensure the integrity of your data? You're going to make sure the data is coming from the various ports that it's supposed to come from. And then how do you make data available to the relevant parties? We have data that is only available to the human resource team. For example, I'm an employee of Analytics, right? So my data is fully going to reside with the HR department. Is that data also available to the entire house? That's already a data breach. So these are things that the cybersecurity people make sure that they use user access control to give access to different people to the data that they are supposed to have available for them. So you learn all these things using the tools in cybersecurity also. You're going to learn offensive and defensive cybersecurity. How do you attack? and how do you defend? How do you analyze threats using your virtual box, using your Wireshark, and so on and so forth. So don't fret. Cybersecurity is all about you making use of tools to analyze all these threats. Okay, you're making use of tools to analyze all these threats. You're also going to be learning cryptographic basics. How do you write encryptions? How do you encrypt your data so that man in the middle cannot intercept your data at the point of sending it from your CEO to your board of directors? Possibly man in the middle will pick up the data and have access to what you are transmissioning. So these are things that you get to know when you are with us. You're also going to learn the cyber threat and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security, incident response and forensics, and of course, cyber security policies and compliance, where you learn ISO 27001 for information security principle, and also the NDPA if you are in Nigeria, or GDPR if you are in any of the European countries. So what this means is that if you are done learning the cybersecurity program, you can comfortably work as a GRC expert, governance, risk, and compliance, can comfortably work as a network security engineer, as an endpoint security person, as a web and application security engineer, and also as an incident responder. So you have various aspects of information security or cybersecurity that you can easily transition into. So the learning timeline is also for 4 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 3 months using real life case studies. And then you also intern with us for 1 month. The class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and every Sunday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. You have various tools that you're going to be mastering, how to make use of VMware, the VirtualBox, Wireshark, Metasploit, Linux, Zap, and Bob Suite. How do you make use of all these tools to analyze your threats, defend your organization? So at this point, I don't know if you've made your decision of where you want to transition to, because this is the last program, all right? So that exactly is the last program. So by now, you must have made the decision of, okay, this is my exact target role that I want to transition through. Okay, so moving on, how do you learn? How do you learn with us? The first thing is that once you join us, we are going to provide you with the necessary downloads that you need to put in your laptop, necessary things that you need to download for you to prepare to come to class, after which we'll bring you into the classroom. We have our learning management system, which is I'm currently displaying to you. So let me quickly see if I can show something in the learning management system instantly. Okay, so basically, once you join us, you are going to get something like this, where you have access to your dashboard, right? You are going to have access to your own dashboard, and you are going to enroll and learn with us easily. Once you enroll, you are going to get into your own student dashboard and be able to enroll for any of the courses. If you enroll with us already, we will indirectly link you up into the learning management dashboard. We also have what we call our analytics AI trainer. For example, I'm going to perform a single demo for us. So with the AI trainer, okay, I think I've performed a little bit of task here. I'm going to start a new task. So it also knows how I can make use of the AI trainer for you to be able to perform things that you're talking to you the way I'm speaking to you right now. You have someone speak to you the way I am speaking to you. And the classes will also be recorded and uploaded to this learning management platform, that you can comfortably go back and watch the video if you missed any class. Okay, so if you missed any class, you can comfortably log into your learning management platform and watch the recording of the classes you missed. And also, the Watch Me Do It videos will also be uploaded here for you to watch all those short bites movie. So let me quickly use the Oluko. Oluko simply means a teacher in Yoruba. I hope I pronounced that correctly, right? So using your analytics AI trainer, I can comfortably perform a couple of tasks. For example, simply is going to ask you your name. So I'm going to put my name. My name is Chukwemeka for it to personalize our interaction. So it has taken my name, Chukwemeka, and at the moment it's trying to bring out the data for us to continue working with it. Okay, I don't know why my internet is slow today. My internet is slow. It's loading. I am your personal AI trainer designed by It Analytics. So these are a couple of things that you're going to have access to. Which of the categories below suits your current concern? Okay, I think my screen is hanging because it's already showing here. I think my screen is hanging. So I'm going to show, okay, it has shown. So these are things I've said. So you have a couple of things to select from. You have your career-related question. You have your content, course content explanation. You want to understand some of the course content. You have a code-based issue that you're having issues with. The AI trainer for analytics is also available for you. And you also have your interview prep. Let me see quickly to put, it's going to ask me, so while you are also on congratulations on securing the interview, I'm happy to be your interview prep buddy. I will provide you with a detailed guide and the possible question to be asked. So at this point, what it's saying is that I should provide a copy of the job I applied to. So let me quickly get a job advert that I am going to instantly share right here. So I think I have that we currently advertise for here at Analytics. So I'm going to copy the exact thing that is in that job description. Right here. So I'm going to copy everything in the job is requiring, and paste it right here. So I've copied it. This is coming up now. 1 minute. It's coming up. So I've copied everything I need. So let me quickly put it inside. Hi, Damlo. Hi.
Yes, I'm here. All right. If anybody can hear me, can you drop a 1 in the chat? Oh, okay.
Hi, Damlola. I don't know what happened right there. I was kicked out, but I'm back right now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I was trying to display the old course. So I'm going to bring my screen back up so that we can have experience of what I'm saying. Okay, so I think I'm back right now. So I'm going to display my screen again to show everything. Please confirm that okay, I think my screen is up right now. All right, fantastic. So once I've copied the exact job role, everything I want to display with respect to Oluko, with respect to the job I am applying for, I will simply go back to the platform. I'll simply go back to that exact the page, which is Oluko, and paste it. So I've pasted it. Let me paste it right now. I've pasted it. I'm bringing up my screen again so that we see what Oluko is asking us to do. So I've pasted it and it's coming up shortly. So these are things that you also get to have access to help you learn seamlessly. And that's excluding the skill and the experience that we are going to be giving you, right? So these are also additional things that you will learn, excluding the necessary skills and tools that we will be equipping you with. So Olukan has provided me with everything that I need to know. For example, first, what he said is preparing for an interview for the employability partner role at Analytics involves understanding the key responsibilities and demonstrating your ability to support students in their job search. Here's a detailed guide to help you prepare, along with 10 potential questions that could be asked by the interviewer, right? So it's also providing you with the possible question that the interviewer will be asking you. First is understanding the company and role. So it's telling you to, okay, research analytics, its mission and its services, and then understanding the importance of the employability partner, and so on and so forth. Then it's telling you to review your key responsibilities, which is familiarize yourself, such as CV review, LinkedIn guidance, job application, and so on and so forth. Also, highlight relevant experience, which means if you have initial experience in this exact role, you need to be able to highlight it at this exact moment. Then also showcase your skill, prepare for behavioral questions. Then it's telling you possible interview questions. Number one is preparation tip. Can you tell us about your experience with reviewing and editing resumes? Okay, can you see one of the first questions is asking, can you tell us your experience with reviewing and editing resumes? So it's giving you a preparation tip, provide specific example of how you have helped individuals improve their resumes, focusing on content, format, and accuracy. And these are also other possible interview questions that you will be asked. Believe me, if you are prepared with Oluko, you are definitely going to be 100% ready for any interview you're going to. There's also another question saying, describe a time when you successfully matched a candidate's qualification with a job opening, right? So these are things that we also get to teach you when you join the analytics, because you are going to be walking through our employability services. So I think that will be all for Oluko. Let's dive right into the other slide that we have. But this is just to provide you that you have other possible AI trainer that is going to help you in your exact job search. Remember, the first thing you want to do is for you to be able to land a role, right? The first thing you are doing right now, everything you are doing is to lead you to land a role. And that is also why we provide all these additional employability services, starting with the level one, number one, which is CV review session. We also help you to review your CVs and be able to tell you, okay, you need to remove this, you need to add this for it to be ATS compliant. You want your CV to pass that initial applicant tracking system and be able to say, okay, for example, you have SQL knowledge, but the interview or the job advert is saying we want someone that has knowledge of Postgre. Now, Postgre is a database, but in your own CV, you've imputed SQL. And anyone that has knowledge of SQL can 100% use Postgre, right? So you need to be able to match your CV to the exact requirements of that job. And these are things that we teach you in analytics also. We have the LinkedIn optimization session. How do you position yourself for recruiters to see? All right, it's one thing for you to be applying for job. It's another thing for you to be on your own and jobs are coming to you. And that's after you've already done all those LinkedIn optimization. We also have the Upwork optimization session where we teach you how you can be in Nigeria and you're working for a company in US, you can be in UK or working for a company in Canada using contractual basis. These are the places where tech people are currently milking their money from. Okay, we also have sessions about navigating the job market where we bring in expert recruiters into the classroom to talk to you on. These are things that you need to know. These are the current trends of the happenings in the labor market. This is how you need to move for you to be able to land a role. We also have the job and interview prep sessions where if you get a job, we are available for you to prepare you for that exact interview, which means we'll have a session where you have your facilitator, some stakeholders asking you questions, preparing you for that exact interview that you want to go for. Okay, we also provide recommendation and reference letters. And remember, you are learning with case study based, okay? Which means you can comfortably say that why you were consulting with analytics. For example, during your interview prep session, you're going to learn things like the SIT and STAR framework. The STAR framework is basically situation, task, achievement, and results. Okay. And if you ask something like, okay, hi Chukwemeka, tell us about a point where we were able to, analyze the data and bring out information for your organization to make decisions from. Can comfortably say the situation, basically why I was consulting with analytics. I worked on 10 or shop analytics model where we're able to build a web application platform for the staff to be able to be applying for leave, which is a leave management system. And while we are building that exact platform, I was basically tasked with user access gathering, where I gather requirements with respect to the necessities that we need to put in the web application platform. And this led to us to achieving that within the sprint timeline of 2 weeks that we already allotted for it. And the result of that exact web application is that the staff leave application process became seamless, and there was a proper leave plan that made no two staff in the same directory to be conflicted whenever they go for leave. So these are ways you can speak using the STAR framework. And remember, because you have worked on this case study, you can comfortably ask for recommendation or reference letter. Peradventure, you're going for a future job, you're going for anything, and they ask, oh, we need a recommendation letter from your past, consultants. We are available to make those things available for you. We also have the weekly mentorship sessions where we walk you through a day in the life of a data analyst. We walk you through a day in the life of a cybersecurity person. You need to learn the things that your mentor passed through so that you will not go through that same exact problem. You need to learn the things that your mentor passed through so that you will not go through that exact problem also. So these are things that will put you through for you to be able to work comfortably with us. We also provide you on-the-job support, where if you get any job and you are still struggling to find your fitting on that exact role, we are available for you 1 month until you can comfortably do everything that you're supposed to do on that role. And this leads us to level 3, which is a promise to you that 1 month after you are done training with us, we guarantee you 1 job interview invitation. Okay? 1 month that you are done training with us, we guarantee you 1 job interview invitation. Okay, so moving on, this also other services that you have possibility of unlocking. Okay, so you have the possibility of unlocking what we call the tailored approach for top applicants. So what we do is also, because we provide all our students with a portal to submit all the interviews that they have applied within that space, for the top applicants in each cohort, we are also able to provide you with a tailored job application from our recruitment experts. So if you are the top applicant within that month for your exact cohort, we will personally handle you. We will personally make sure that our in-house recruitment experts, they apply to jobs for you until you land a job. Okay, so we do this so that we make sure that all our students are constantly applying to jobs. So after, if you join in August, by the end of that August, we are going to pick the top applicants to jobs that exam month and be able to work closely with them and make sure that they're able to secure an interview invitation within that exact month. So these are things, services that we provide to make sure that you land that exact job. So all these things always seem impossible, but it is 100% possible because we have people that have done it in the past, right? So just remind me, before we are done, I'm going to play a video of one of our past students. Okay, I'll play a video for us to see that people has gone through this exact process and it is 100% possible. People like Biola was able to transition from an accountant to become a data analyst and currently works with a financial giant in UK. Olubemi was a banker and he transitioned into business data analyst and is currently in Canada. Michael landed his first role in tech as a sales engineer in a software company. And of course, we have Muidin that also got a job working remotely with BBS in UK just 2 months after completing his program with us. So our amazing news is that the next cohort is starting 3rd of August 2024. It's starting 3rd of August 2024. And the prize for you, because you are here at this moment, is we have a 20% discount for you. So what it means that instead of you to pay $750 or £625 or 730 euros or 1,125 Canadian dollar, we have a discounted price for you, which means you get to pay $600 or £500 or 580 euros or 900 Canadian dollars. Okay. And also because we know that people want to be able to stretch themselves, we also provide you the first installment option and the second installment option, which means you can make $400 to secure this exact spot. And 1 month into that exact program, you can now make the additional $200. Okay. You can make £350 to secure the spot. And then 1 month into the program, you can make the additional £150, or you can make 400 euros, to secure your spot. And then 1 month later, you can now pay the extra 180 euros. Same thing with Canadian dollars, can pay 600 Canadian dollars. Then 1 month into the program, you can pay 300 Canadian. So what this means is that you can pay any of these first payment option and secure your spot for the discounted pricing. And the classes will start 3rd of August. Then by the 3rd of August, September, by the ending of August, you are expected to make the second payment for you to complete your exact payment option. How do you make these exact payments? How can you be able to secure this your spot? So my colleague will drop this main stack link for you to be able to easily make payments. So I'm going to walk us through how we can also make these payments. So what you simply have to do is click on that exact link. So once you've clicked on it, it's going to take you to the Analytics Enrollment Center. All right, the Analytics Enrollment Center. And right there, you're going to see all the courses that we offer, and you will instantly choose the one that you want to do. All right, so if you want to do data analysis, for example, this is data analytics. What you simply have to do is click on data analytics. All right, click on data analytics, and it will take you to the main stack checkout point. Remember, our pricing is in all those FCYs, foreign currencies. But if you are staying in Nigeria or Ghana or any of those locations, it is going to pick your location and allow you to make payments in your own local currency. For example, currently I am in Nigeria at the moment. So what this means is that I am seeing my pricing in NGN here. Okay, I am seeing my pricing in NGN. So if you are in UK, you are definitely going to see your pricing in pounds. If you're in Germany, you're going to see it in euros. If you're in US, you're going to see it in US dollar. If you're in Canada, you're going to see it in Canadian dollars. So you're going to see it here. And what you simply have to do is, if I want to make the complete payments, I leave it at 720. If I want to secure my spot, I'll put the initial amount, which is 500, and click on reserve a seat. So once I click on reserve a seat, it's going to ask me to put my name. So at this point, what I simply need to do is to put my name, which is Chukwemeka, put my email address, Chukwemeka, put my Nigerian number, which is select Nigerian flag. I'm going to put a random number here at the moment, and then click on proceed. So once I proceed, it's going to bring out the option for me to check out these payments. So I can decide to put my card details and pay, or I can decide to click on transfer and copy the account number here, go to my own account and make the payment. We have some project account number, please pay with any of other channels. So at the moment, Mainstar cannot generate account number, which means I can pay with any of this card, or I can pay through bank, and so on and so forth. So as easy as that, you can easily make your payments and secure your spot. So I'm going to take a couple of questions right now before we start rounding up. So I'm going to take a question. So if you have any question for Ross, please use the raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak, okay? So use the raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak, or you can drop your question in the chat box and we're also going to pick it from there. All right, guys, now is your time to ask all those questions you've been dropping in the chat box so that we can take 1 or 2 questions, at least 3 questions, and then we'll start rounding off. Okay, do we have anybody with their hand raised? Let me check. Okay, I have Charles. Hi, Charles. Charles, you have the floor. Please, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Hello. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I didn't start with you. I'm from UK. Yeah. So I had the part of the tutorial. Or what would I call this now? Saying that you guys have a section 8 to 10 or something like that. Am I right?
Yes, it depends on the exact program that you want to join. So which
So
of the programs are you looking?
So I'm looking at joining for the data analytics. So what I'm
All right.
looking
So
at is like in the UK, the kind of job we do, they end by 8. So by probably another 1 hour or 30 minutes to 1 hour, you'll be at home. So is it not possible? We have a section by 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
okay, so fantastic question there, Charles. So for the data analyst program, we have classes from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Right? That's West African time, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. morning class, and then we have the evening one from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Right? So why we did it like that? Because we know that sometimes people might be having morning shifts or they might be in night shifts. So people is favorable for depending on your own time zone. For example, people in Canada and US, they prefer the 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. class because it's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain time as at then. But for people in European countries and Africa, the 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is more favorable for them. Okay, so you also have the ability that even if you have a conflicting time for an exact class, the session will be recorded and uploaded to all those the Google Classroom and the learning management platform for you to be able to watch them whenever you are a chance and prepare for your next class. Remember, it's only on Saturdays that you have live classes. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense to you, Charles.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part. So, what you are considering people with morning or late shifts? There's something they call a long day. A long day start from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So,
Yeah,
and if you really want to meet up with your bills and the financial and where they're going to pay you for this kind of course, you have to do a lot of long days. It's people doing late or early. Maybe they are just a student that they can't work more than 20 hours.
yeah,
But
I
most of the
100%
people,
understand.
most of the people would rather do long day than doing a late or an early. So
All
that's
right,
why I'm looking at like, is there any way you guys can fashion out something for those people that does long day and
all right.
if possible, I don't know, is it what's the timetable like? Is it just once in a week or how is it done?
Yeah, exactly. So, Charles, the classes is only on Saturdays, right? So you only have live classes on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's the morning class. And then from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's the evening class. Now, we know that, for example, you're in UK and at the moment we have the long day thing, but we provide services to global students, right? So we have people that are in Germany, we have people that are in UK, we have people that are in US, we have people that are in Africa. And that's why the classes are sort of fixed either in the morning and then in the evening. If we start changing it because of UK timing, it's going to have people in Canada will come up and say, oh, this timing that you just fixed is going to be possibly our 11 a.m. or it's going to be our 1 a.m. and will not be able to join it. So these are little you know, effort we have to do personally for ourselves. For example, when I transitioned, I was working in the banking industry. Then I was doing my MBA. I was learning how to transition. It was stressful for me. So those are the little things that we have to do and sacrifice for us to be able to get to the points of what we need. It may be hard trying to suit it peculiarly to the UK market because we service everyone. What we did is
But
to
you
be
have a
able to
larger
work with,
percentage from UK.
yeah, what we do is to assign it to the time zone of the UK market and the time zone of the mountain time, right? So the time zone basically works for 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for people in UK, and people in Canada and US, it works for them between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right. So doing this, it means that we are servicing people that are in GMT, and we're also servicing people within GMT plus 7. Right. So if we try to tweak it for it to, okay, we'll have 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then another 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., you're only servicing a part of the entire market. I don't know if this makes sense to you,
Yeah,
Charles, because
I guess.
yeah, so that's basically why
Because
the
same
timing
person is delivering the lecture, not different persons.
yeah, exactly. We also have instances where I bring in different people for depending on the number in the class, we bring in different people, but it's basically from the entire feedback we've received. Trust me, if we try to tweak it peculiarly to your own need, people on Discord are going to stand up and say, guys, this is not going to work for me. Right. So we try to keep it to that exact time. But what we do, remember, the classes are recorded. That even if you had a clash or you had a shift that you were not able to finish earlier, you have access to watch the video. Then within the week, we have what we call drop-in session, where I think it holds around 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., where people just come in for 1 hour to discuss on the challenges that are having, and then everybody dismissed again, all right? So your class is only on Saturdays, but within the week, either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the class agreement, you just come in for 1 hour, 9 to 10 or 10 to 11, and everyone discuss on the challenges they're having, and the facilitator is going to solve it right there in that exact session. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Charles.
Yeah, it makes sense. But the major timetable says just a live section on Saturday. It could be morning or late. That's all.
Exactly, Charles.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I think I have another hand raised. That will be, how do I pronounce this name? Amy. I've asked you to unmute. I hope I didn't murder your name. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. So my question is, actually I've got two. First one, how much is the program? Because I'm quite confused with the table. It's kind of, there's so many figures going on that table. So assuming I'm going for the Agile project management role, how much is it in Naira?
Okay, so it is the same price. All the programs are the same pricing. What we try to do is to bring out different currencies that exist, right? So for the Agile Project Manager, which is also the Scrum Master, it is the same thing as the other programs. So in Naira, that should be 720,000 Naira. So once you click on that link that my colleagues shared, it will instantly take you to the main stack link where you make payments, okay? So why we don't put the local currencies, because we have people from various countries joining us. We have people from Ghana, we have people from Rwanda, we have people from South Africa. So what we just do is we put it in LCY. Once you use that exact main stack link, it's going to ask you, it's going to convert it to your own currency. And you're going to see the option, the amount for you to make there. I don't know if that makes sense for you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I mean.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Then the second question I have is, so in terms of the program, again, I'm interested in the Scrum Master project management one. So you said the training is for 2 months. Is that like, what is that? When you say training, is it just like teaching or people watching videos, or would it be actual lecturer, or is it just people in the field, people that are already in the field that will be training, or just people that read it and start training us?
All right, fantastic. So for the Scrum Master, that's the Agile Project Manager, APM, it is for 4 months, where you learn in the classroom for 3 months, and then you have your internship with us for 1 month. And what we also do is we bring in experts from that exact industry. For example, the person that's currently taking the current APM guys, he's from, I think he's from either Flutterwave or InterSwitch. Yeah, one of those companies. Yeah, InterSwitch. So we bring in experts that is already in the industry to teach you using the real life case study base, okay? And it is going to be a live conversation, live class, okay? So the way we're having conversation right now, that's how he or she is going to be teaching you. And then the session will also be recorded, that even if you missed a class, you can go back and watch the video of that recording. I don't know if that makes sense to you now, I mean.
Yeah, so okay, that makes sense. So in terms of the practical side, what type of project are they? Are they web application or what, digital projects?
Okay, so you always work on web application projects. You always work on web application projects using virtual platforms. You are going to be using Jira to build up all those things. You're going to be using Confluence, starting from how do you build your user stories? What are the acceptance criteria for you to say, okay, this is fully acceptable? How do you build it using the Jira project management tool, end to end? How do you leverage the Bondan chart, the velocity chart? So each of those topics that you see here, you are going to be practically executing it on Jira. So they are live and I don't have to live and direct, right? So once you are learning it in the class, you're also working on the Jira board concurrently. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but by the end of the exact classes, you have a broader project where you get to work with software developers, work with business analysts on a particular project, a web application project for you to bring into life that web application. I don't know if that makes sense to you now.
It does. And finally, you said discount for today. How much is the discount?
Okay, so discount is for the first 20 people. Remember, the exact cost for the program is $750, right? But it has been discounted to $600, which means it is $720 for you. So the actual cost is $900,000, but the discount right now for the first 20 people to get into any of the program is $720,000 in Naira for you. I mean.
All right. Thank you very much.
But, all right. Remember, we offer the first instrumental payment option and the second instrumental payment, where if you want to secure that spot, so that not at the moment when you're trying to save up, and the spot will be fully filled up, you can make the first instrumental payment. And then 1 month into that class, which means by the ending of August, you can now make the completed amount. I don't know if that makes sense now. Okay, I think Amy has muted. Fantastic. All right, I think I've done justice to 2 questions. Let me check the chat box and see if there's any question for me to handle. Can we pay in 3 installments? Do we have another project aside web application? Of course, Lydia Ngodo, you have lots of projects for you to work with. For example, when you are even still in the class learning, possibly you're trying to learn how to build a user story, you'll be working on projects like the Shopalytics, working on projects like delivery app, so many projects that you're going to be working. So each of the case study, each of the topic learning area that you are working on will come with a case study that you are learning with. Because these are things that you're going to put in your portfolio that you're able to build a user story for a Shopalytics platform, which is basically into the delivery or supply chain industry, right? Or you can classify it as FMCG. So each of the learning area that you are learning, you will definitely have a project that you will be working on. Can we pay in 3 installments? Okay, so for people that want to, that 2 instrumental payments may not be visible for them, what I would advise you to do right now is to send an email to finance@analytics.org. So try to send that email tonight. Tell them how you want to structure your own payment, right? So just say, hi, Finance, I would love to join your data analytics program, but at the moment, I would love to do it in 3 installments. I want to pay $200, $200 so that it will be easier for me. And then they will tell you whether it's visible. Okay, so I always advise people to send the email right now in the class so that the people that is working on it will tell you if it's possible. Remember, once the spot is fully filled, you may not be able to have access to some of these other services. So please ensure that you leverage the option and send that email to ask them right now. Okay, so I think I have another question before we round up. Okay, I think Shola is telling me to move on. Okay, what kind of shoot are you working that you can't take Saturday? Oh, people are conversing. All right, fantastic. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being with us till this very, oh, wow, I have a couple of hands raised. Wow, okay, let me just take it. Please, let's make it jiffy. Hi, iPhone, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for your time. I'd like to ask, first and foremost, what's your area of specialization?
Personally, me?
Yes, please.
Why asking my area of specialization? You want to hire me, sir?
Yes, because I want you to give an advice based on what you do. I think I want to be so sure if what I'm guessing is the case. Because the lady who did the introduction said, I think if I'm not mistaken, she said something that you are an expert in GRC. I hope I'm right.
Yeah, you are right. So I've played a
Okay.
couple of roles. I transitioned through data analysis. I've been in
Okay.
business analysis a couple of times, but at the moment, I prefer to be a governance risk and compliance person. Yeah.
All right. So perfect. So that's why I'm asking. And so now, for someone who is a novice who has no background experience in cybersecurity and wants to go into that field, what are the strengths this person ought to possess? Looking at the key points you listed, that if you want to go into cybersecurity, these are the concepts you need to go through. Looking at the outline, since you're already in that field, what are the things I, for example, would have to be very strong in so that I don't take the wrong step and say, okay, I
Right.
think, yeah.
Right. I think I understand your question right now. Fantastic. What's the name so that I'll not call you iPhone?
Frederick.
Frederick.
Yes.
All right. Fantastic. So Frederick, one thing about transitioning is that, in all sincerity, is not really about where you are coming from. My background personally, I studied civil engineering. Can you imagine? I did civil engineering first degree. I did my MBA, did a couple of finance courses, worked in the bank, transitioned to data analyst, did a couple of courses, transitioned to GRC and so on and so forth. So basically, you can see the journey I've had. So it's not really tied to where you are coming from. You have people that are currently in the cybersecurity class that are basically lawyers. So for them, it might be amazing because they have maybe privacy knowledge, they have governance knowledge, and so on and so forth. We have people that are in cybersecurity class that are coming from business side. They don't have any prior knowledge with respect to cybersecurity, but they're still able to follow. So one thing I always tell when it comes to cybersecurity is that it's about your inquisitive mindset and your ability to say, okay, this is how these guys might think. This is the possibility of what this person might do. Once you are the kind of person that is very inquisitive, that you can think, trust me, you can do well with respect to cybersecurity. Because the only thing you are thinking is, okay, this person wants to attack. How do I defend? Remember, you just like defenders in the football pitch, right? What Sergio Ramos is at any point is, how do I slide this guy? Nothing. I don't know whether you understand the point I'm talking. So he may not really have to go, okay, I need to go and start learning. I need to have this, must have been maybe a policeman, or I need to have been in this exact industry for me to be easily fit into this exact ecosystem. It's just for you to say, okay, I will have this inquisitive mindset to know more. Remember, we're going to walk you through from basic level to expert level. From that initial foundations of computing, we're talking to you about what is computer, what is CPU, what is RAM, what is ROM, what is LAN, what is WAN. So all those things just to make sure that you understand all those initial basic aspects of computing before we now enter into networking. What is IP? What is subnet? How do you set up an IP? How do you set up different subnets for different digital assets? Before we even get into introduction to cybersecurity. So we have like two to three classes to do the initial basic computer for you to have that soft landing into the ecosystem. So the courses are structured to be beginner friendly, that even if you have zero knowledge of cybersecurity, you can still easily transition into the classes. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Frederick.
Yes, very well. Very well.
All right.
And
So I assume
finally,
you have it. All right, go ahead, please.
yeah, and one opt for two courses, and what is the cost involved?
Sorry, I didn't catch the last thing you said, sir.
Is it possible to do two different courses at the same time?
Oh, no, that would be hard because remember the classes, most of them start 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you are doing cybersecurity and you are doing, for example, this 8 p.m., all of them is 11 a.m., 11 a.m., which means the two
All right.
classes are concurrently. So it's
Okay.
be hard unless you can be at two different places at at the same time. That's the only possibility of it working for you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right, but
I think, thank you.
we've had students that finished a course first and they transitioned to that exact field and they came back to also take another course for them to
Okay.
upskill themselves. So it's also possible. And when that happens for you, we'll always have amazing discounts for alumni of the programs.
All right. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Frederick. I can't wait to see you in class. I'm waiting for you personally.
All right. Okay.
All right. I think we'll have Moshokbe. We'll take Moshokbe and we'll start rounding up for the night. Hi, Moshokbe. You have the floor. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for your presentation so far. They've been really informative. So I think I have two questions, but I think Frederick has asked one of my questions, which is taking two classes at the same time. And you've explained that that would be difficult. Yeah, and I could imagine as well. So my second question, you've mentioned this, but I just want to clarify again. So are all the classes going to be having live sessions, or is just some selected classes that will be having live sessions? Which means I'm trying to say that would there be teachers coming into the classes on Saturday for us to have like an interactive session, or is just for some particular courses?
All right. So, Moshokbe, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Yeah, Moshokbe. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So, all the classes we offer, they have live teachers. Okay. So, someone will definitely come to class on Saturday to talk to you, real interaction where you guys converse. Right. So, all the classes have live sessions. It's not go and watch a video, as the case may be. So you have live session. What we now do is for some programs that are very long, we now do watch me do it videos that we upload for them on Sundays. That is just like 10 minutes to 15 minutes for them to watch and understand the concept differently or deeper. So that when they come to class the next Saturday and the teacher is talking on that exact concept, it will be easier for you to follow. I don't know if that makes sense to you now, Moshokbe.
Yeah, it does. It does. And you said when you come back, maybe you finish the course and you come back for another one, there will be discounts.
Definitely,
right?
definitely discounts for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. So I'll be looking out for you in one of the programs. Which one? I think Moshokbe has muted. Fantastic. Okay. So thank you guys so much. I've taken Frederick. I've taken Moshokbe. Please, you can bring down your hand right now so that I'll be sure that I don't have unanswered hands. Okay, let me check the chat box to see if there's any question for me to take. Can two courses be taken simultaneously? I've handled that. Hi, can someone help pay on one's behalf? Yes, fantastic. Someone can help pay, send the screenshot to you, and you upload. Can two courses be taken combined? Wow, I think I have amazing people on this call. Everyone is willing to take two courses at the same time. That's really fantastic. Okay, so before we round off for the night, I would just love to, let me just show us the video of ICMAT. Let me just play the video of ICMAT so that we see that these things are possible and so that we can also hear from the horse's mouth how she was able to transition, things that she did, how we also helped her, and we'll instantly call it a night. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat and I was with the March cohort in Analytics, and joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You have people you can always go back to, even outside of class class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because he was like, he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked. And I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
All right, fantastic. So we've heard what Ikmat had to say. So I always love the video of Ikmat because she transitioned from being a full housewife to landing 2 tech jobs. So while she was still studying in UK, she landed the first one, but she was not able to take up the role because of work limitations within the number of hours that she can work with. But after she completed her program, she also got 2 other roles that she was not able to select the one that she wants to be in. Okay, she chose the one that gave her visa sponsorship, and presently she have also moved on to other jobs. So these are some of the success stories that I've recorded in the past. And like I always tell people, if Ikmat can do it, you also will be able to do it. So please ensure that you fill the attendance form so that you can get the slide of this session and the recording. You can go through the slide and see the other success stories that I've recorded in the past. Someone like Inyakbabio went for a managerial role, but he landed a CEO role. So these are possible if only you have the skill and the experience and you showcase it to your recruiters. So thank you everyone for being with us till this very moment. And I can't wait to see each and every one of you come this August 3rd in any of our sessions. Okay, so please feel free to reach out to any of our contacts there, Shey, Lydia, and Aimwa. They're all Canadian lines, Nigerian line, also the WhatsApp line is also there for you to be able to talk to any of them concerning joining any of these programs. Thank you once more, guys, and see you come 3rd of August. Good night and bye for now. Cheers.